I don't know what to expect from Jackie Jug. Apart from that, though, I like everything else that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I actually do like the Jug here. I think overall the matchups are decent. The timings are okay. Like you do have additional heal, so if you get Fortune's and False Promise off along with Healing Ward, you're probably not going to lose any heroes. Just a lot of heal coming in, a lot of damage you do have to do to overcome that. That's a very threatening pose from our Magnus,
It
kicking
is.
me right through the screen. But yeah, it's gonna be a back and forth. I think we have to watch Jackie's build up. And Jesus, my ears are melting.
See you later, nerd. See you later, nerd.
That's enough, boys. We got it. We got it. I guess the battle pass is going to end very soon, so you may as well just spam them out now while you've got the chance. Cuckoo's asking for a double down.
Oh God. Yeah, everyone's in a good mood. I'm telling you this. Whenever it's MY against MY for the guilds, it tends to be really loud every single time. It's just what you expect when both teams are kind of friends with each other. It's always a rambunctious time, Mike.
Well, I've just brought out the loot bet odds once again, John, and Among Us are still very, very heavy favorites in this game. So most people seeming to have their faith in Among Us to be able to get this 2-1 victory.
Check Dota Plus though, Mike. It looks like the AI seems to think MG.Trust has the definitive draft already. It's
Well,
like
in
a
all
53% advantage.
In all fairness, Dota Plus said 52% for Among Us last game, so I don't know if we can believe this AI anymore.
I want to believe, Mike, I paid for it. It's got to be good for something. It's got to be.
Very funny, John. Down to that bot lane, bounty runes are going to spawn up. 23 Savage. Have to be a little bit cautious here. Arrow going to fly in. Whew, that was close. How do they even juke that one out?
Oh yeah,
Fine.
just
In fact, it was Jabs. Never mind. I'm just going blind.
presence of mind. They know Jabs is on Marana, so they know that the arrow plays come out in the runes, and they're gonna stick around for the tri lane for a bit. So you've got tree on tree, tri lane on tri lane. Gonna be a bloodbath. Just looking for that first blood opportunity.
They will? Can they get it, though? I mean, I feel like Among Us has some pretty good FB potential with this Marana. You have to be a little bit cautious here if you are Motivate Trust, just to watch out for that rogue arrow. But now, anyway, they'll just trade some harass and try to get everyone a bit lower. Whitemon's going to cop a bit, and Jabs is actually going to leave on that Marana up towards that top lane, where he'll try to help out Cuckoo with an arrow, which was on target, but the creep wave will block it out. I mean, Jackie will remain pretty safe here.
And they're also sending up Boombell, so it's going to be our Jug Oracle lane up against the Marana and Mars. I think there's a lot of potential here from the Jug Oracle. You have to watch the roots into spin. There's a lot of damage that comes out there once you have additional levels on Jackie, so back and forth lane. I think it's really on the edge as to how far Cuckoo can push his Mars. Jabs has a lot of work to do to get that EXP going with the arrow plays. Gonna have to see how much he can really milk out from this lane. Still gives us a chance to look at that mid. You've got the Magnus once again by Fearless up against Abed on the Ember, and it's a fairly even lane so far, slightly behind for Fearless in terms of last hits, but he does have 3 creeps waiting for himself, so it's going to even out. And Abed this time, I think, after playing against the Magnus a couple of times, he needs to understand how far he can push himself, has to watch that skewer plays. Fearless is not afraid to try to go for them and just respect that spacing here as the Ember.
Absolutely will. But of course, not going to be playing any games in this game number 3, as he's had a rough game 1 and 2 so far. Definitely wants to put on a performance here in game number 3. Alt lane, 23 Savage and Whitemon just farming perfectly fine. Savage having a great old time so far. 8th the Remnant, not actually going to get the range creep. Nice deny out from Among Us, and a bit mistimed there by Q. One might too much though. They are just going to be slightly behind in XP.
Yeah, this lane is really hard for Savage to just find last hits. I mean, it's a Viper lane, but the Nether Toxin is doubly painful because of that break. So he doesn't even get to feast true while standing there. It's just really hard to find his steady last hits. He is top though, and
Masaros, he's trying for the TP play, and the 8th Remnant may have just bought him enough time. Close call for Masaros. But he's going to have to run back to the fountain anyway. Or maybe just get themselves up. No, he has a bottle, so he'll be alright. Just return back to the lane. Maybe wait for that 5-minute mark and get that full bottle up with a bounty. Maybe even give it to Q, who will go contest the 4-minute power runes.
Yeah, it's a really nice flexible bottle here to toss out. And again, MG.Trust have been having a good time enough bot. I mean, Savage is still top in last hits, but they are applying that pressure. You really do need to get a little bit more EXP here for Q. I think that's going to be the big one. If he has level 3 by the 4-minute mark, the congestion over power runes is going to be so much easier for that Void Spirit.
See you later, nerds. See you later,
Jackie's
nerds.
struggling in farm right now. Cuckoo's been doing a great job at really being disruptive on this Mars. Spamming out the God's Rebuke and Spear whenever Jackie does want to get close for a CS. Jackie is only at 10. He's less than half of what Savage has got. Speaking of Savage, he might just be dead, and he is. Masseros able to get the first blood. Of course, Whitemon on the Enchantress was roaming around trying to secure the 4-minute power rune, and they might get Fearless instead. Fearless trying to run. It's a Fairy Fire, but Whitemon have the damage with that level 1 impetus. Does get the kill.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice they made, bleeding out first blood for that kill on mid, along with a full bottle for Abed. So he comes back in, he does grab the Arcane. It looks like a reprioritization here, or a shift in priorities towards Abed instead. They've decided, you know, Savage, you can maybe hold this lane alone. You don't want him to comp too many hits from Masseros. They do have good control, but the last hits are still coming in. So I think overall Savage is not going to be feeling too bad. They're getting some decent farm going for this. And as you mentioned, Jackie's struggling in comparison. He's just been off a fantastic start. I'm surprised that we're not seeing aggression here with the Jug. Like, again, spin plus the root from the Oracle is pretty potent. They just haven't been able to really get that spacing up for it.
No, they haven't. Cuckoo still going. However, bot lane, Q does go down to 23 Savage. Nice pick up there from our lifestealer. You know, even with that earlier death, John, he is still on top of the CS board. Just how far behind Jackie is right now on the Jug. Still a very, very good game for Savage. And mid lane Arbit trying to get Fearless there on the mag, but misses the chains. They do go back towards the creeps instead. I mean, Fearless can remain pretty safe here on the mag as an arrow will fly through, but Fearless will just stand his ground and make sure he does dodge it. It's like Abed, however, has hit that 6 mark before Fearless, who is still level 5. Let's go in. Actually, the neutral's netting him up as well. Fearless. Oh, it was actually Whitemon. I was going to say, that's very unfortunate. The Oracle as well now. Going to try and help out, but he is already too late. Boombell is going to go down. Great rotation out from Whitemon, though, with that snare. And of course, jabs with the follow-up damage.
Yeah, they've been really protective of mid. The kills come out every 2 minutes, so it's always around power runes. Abed now with the DD. Q, you do not want to stand here.
No, you don't. He wanted XP, but Abed, thinking about chasing, does think better of it, as Fearless is going to TP back in, but they might just chase him down again. Abed with that DD rune just wants to keep going. Wymon's behind him, connects with a shockwave, chains around as well, but they will not dive the tier 2 tower. Holy moly! Without Fearless having that RP up, Among Us, they're just going to push in this tier 1 mid tower. Q's trying to slow it down, but he can't fight back. In fact, Abed gets the chains off and Q just gets blown up. Uh-oh. We might be about to witness the Abed show, or maybe not. Fearless, who'll cancel off the TP with a nice skewer. Arrow won't connect. Jabs will jump back in, back onto that Magnus. Abed has another slide of his chains in a moment and does get it off. Fearless will go down. Maybe they get a trade on Abed, and they will. But they've left Fearless at level 5. Abed is now level 7.
Oh yeah. And on top of that, they lost the mid tier 1. So they got the objective really early Among Us. That was sub 8 minutes. And just having that free objective opens up deeper rotations in the jungle. It lets them plant some deeper wards. They've already got one to watch this top dire jungle. That just makes it harder for MG.Trust to recover. So a 3k lead for Among Us. They're not messing around, Mike. They've gotten their priorities right. They've given Abed this good start. And Abed on the Ember, it doesn't sit back and farm. It does play a lot more active. This is the Among Us that we were looking for in the earlier games.
Oh, Jackie loses his phase boots there on the courier. It's going to be gone for a minute and a half. And that should slow down his farm quite a bit now without that added damage. In fact, he's going to run all the way back to lane. I thought he may have gone for the TP down to the bot lane and start on that tier 1 tower push, but that is not the case. Jackie going to try and return back to his jungle now, but Jabs has already spotted out the stacks and is already getting started on taking them.
Yeah, it's really what that mid-tier 1 early gives you. Just so much control in the jungle. They are aware of where Jackie is. He does not have mana here.
Yes, the surround out as well. Jackie, he doesn't have spin. Oh, they are just destroying them now Among Us. No more games, they say.
No, they're really just hammering it in. And, you know, they leave Savage alone, but he is getting slippery in this Lifestealer. They can't control him up every time he has Rage. So they can't even maximize this opening they have on Savage. They're just kind of forced to juggle around between the creep wave and the tower, which just gives Among Us so much more. They took the top tier 1, no trade. MG.Trust just not in a position to get any good shove out, and this is a very awkward situation for the Thai boys. It's 7-2, a 4K lead for Among Us, and with that control in the top jungle, you don't have much room to farm up here. So MG.Trust, they've got to take this bot tier 1 to even it out a bit.
They do, but it's just going to be tough. Savage still standing his ground down there, not really caring about the presence of MG.Trust. Azeroth is trying to dish out the damage, but Savage is really not caring. Maybe now with the Aether, though no, he'll rage up. He'll avoid it. Back to the creeps, but now the Viper strikes out. With the Aether connecting, Savage made a mistake and does go down. However, top lane, they're going to try and go onto Jackie on that Jug. He does have the spin. He does have the Omni. And Boombell is going to be around to help him out anyway.
Yeah, that does break off the push though. Like just even losing Boombell down bot means you can't really go for a stable push. They do find at least one bounty down bot, but
Q. Abed doesn't really have the mana or the spells to use right now onto Q. Just leave him be. Did get the illusion he wanted anyway. Abed, it's back to farming. They want to maintain this net worth lead they have of 3k. They want to make sure that Jackie does not get any space in that jug to get some farm up. Because right now, he just has nothing to play with. Even as he goes back into his jungle, Whitemon is just there with the neutrals, making sure he has to back off. And now they'll chase Boombell with a nice arena out and a spear from Kuku. And they will easily get the kill.
Ooh.
And we will have a really big disconnect out for MG.Trust.
yeah, it's unfortunately timed, but at least it did look like Boomball was moving anyway beforehand, so I don't think that was because of the lag. Don't have to feel too bad about that one. Hopefully this one sorts out. Doesn't look like it's a long one. They should be back up and running soon, and 4K lead still up there for Among Us, Mike. 10-minute mark. No objectives still for MG.Trust. This is a bit worrying. Like this map development not happening. It's like in chess, if you don't develop your backline, right? You're not moving your bishops, you're not moving you don't have any way to bring out your knights. You're stuck in a really awkward spot where you just can't leverage anything, and MG.Trust really needs to start finding those tower trades. Like maybe they're happy enough to sit back and farm. There isn't too much farm to really talk about here. Like the progress from Fearless, he is not having a great time in the Magnus. 3.7k net worth. Compare that to Abed at 4.6. It's a 900 lead. In fact, why is Jabs AFK?
Oh, Jabs, come on now.
Oh, this guy has no chill. Dead.
But yeah, there's a lot of farm that has to happen here, Mike. Fearless, of course, the Magnus. You need Echo Saber Blink, and your Jug is going to need Mask of Madness. Looks like the build is for Jackie. It's going to be a while, considering how far behind they are. They need to really wrest control back in that jungle here.
They do. How do you do it though? Like you still haven't gotten that bot tier 1 tower. It's just a very slow process here for MG.Trust, and with this net worth deficit they're having, it's just hard to see them being able to fight back. They are not getting any breathing room here from Among Us. It's like they're ready to go again. Abed posturing that mid lane, but Fearless moving up now. He does have the RP. Isn't going to bother trying. He'll just skewer away, assuming Abed has help around. And his help is there. They're just hanging out in that dire jungle. Just taking all the farm away. And now even the ping's coming out for that tier 2 top tower. And having the Enchantress on your team does really help take these towers a bit earlier on. I believe Whitemon does want to try and go for it.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to keep going for 3 towers. If they're not going to push, if MG.Trust is not going to force a movement out, then you can just play like this. Just constantly melting objectives, forcing out movements. They keep tracking Abed, but they're really not doing much by keeping eyes on him. Look at Jabs. He has space now in bot to get some farm up on the Mirana. And I mean, you've got Jackie around with Masteros, but that's not enough control to punish a Mirana like this.
Arrow, whew, barely going to miss out on Masteros. Nice attempt there from Jabs. Masteros going to TP up top and make sure he can defend it, but pings are coming out towards Masteros now. They may not want to play with the Viper though. It's a bit of a harder kill to get, but they might have to now as Boombell's going to TP in on the Oracle. Get it up. Whitemon going to get started with the impetus damage, but not forcing too much. But here comes Arbet, and now a nice arena out from Cuckoo, catching 2 of them. Q's going to try and come in with an 8th Remnant. It'll barely work out. Arbet gets a double, now wants another, but won't be able to reach Q. But that tier 2 top tower is as good as gone.
Yeah, and they're trying to trade here, MG.Trust, a tier 1 for tier 2. Definitely a bigger win for Among Us with those 2 pickups as well.
They can't even get it.
Oh,
They didn't even finish it.
it's getting dicey, Mike. MG.Trust, they just don't have a map. The top jungle, not safe. Way too many wards here. No tier 2 to TP into. The mid tier 2 still stands, but if a Roche breaks out, you don't have control anymore.
Fearless, he gets chained up into the arrow of Jabs, and that's Fearless gone. Oh, it's turning into a real stomp here in this game number 3. They've got 0 space. I mean, Jackie's trying to farm. He's got the Mask of Madness up and he's back down to that bot lane on the Jug. He might be able to get it this time, but Cuckoo's still being annoying. Not backing off, has the spear up, gets it on the tree, and now Arbet's going to come in for the kill attempt, although he does commit the Omni, but it's going to do really no damage. Arbet's just going to hunt him down. Jackie will go for a spin. Cuckoo may die. No. God's Rebuke is there. And they still have that tier 1 bot tower standing.
That is insane. They've punished White Mondo, but this is a team without Treant keeping their tier 1s alive at the 14-minute mark. That is not a good sign for MG.Trust. They're still trying to play this farming game, and to be fair, considering the situation on the map, they're not too far behind in farm. They're all about 1 to 1.8k behind Abed at the least, so still even on the farm distribution, but they really need to get a grip here. They are dragging more bodies down bot.
Let's just try and pick off Jabs. Q not going to be able to get him with that Fortune's End that flew out. Now Whitemon going to show himself and go for the enchant onto Q and force out the Dissimulate. He doesn't actually have Astral Step charges right now. Goes for the 8th Remnant, but Cuckoo could still try for the arena if he really wants. He just doesn't have much help around to help him out here, but instead they'll go on to Masteros now, who got arrowed by Jabs. Whitemon pop the Fortune's End. Meanwhile, Cuckoo's still being chased down, but they can't lock him down, and now the arena perhaps onto Q. No, not quite yet. They may not even need it. Spear, gonna be missed. Nice to simulate out from Q, but he is gonna die. Meanwhile, Arbet gonna start on by himself onto Masteros. Needs to back out, but here comes 23 Savage onto that Viper. He'll get RP'd up, but is it gonna matter? They don't have the damage for Savage right now. He'll get the Infest off in time, back onto Jabs, and he is safe. As they go for more, the arena gonna be dropped by Cuckoo onto Fearless, and they take him down. And Arbet's not done either. He goes on to Masteros. Make it another. But I'll tell you what, John, on the brighter side, they did get the bot tier 1 tower. Jackie got it.
Yeah. It's progress at a very, very heavy cost. Among Us really feeling good now. 7k lead, 15-4 at the 16-minute mark. MG.Trust. They need so much more to come out, Mike. Jackie has caught up just a bit. He's still a K behind Savage, but he is keeping up for the most part. He is going towards the Manta style build-up here. So you might have something to play with. We need to see the RPs fly out, although.
Oh, arrow out from Jabs, connecting on Fearless. Can't even go for the skewer back play on Arbet. Chains out now on Q. They're forced to just use the healing ward to get everyone up. But they're not allowing him to get to that triangle. Another chains out into the arrow of Jabs, and that might be Q gone. Fate's Edict is going to buy him time, but not for long as he does jump back in onto Whitemon now. With the Viper Strike out from Masaros. They do get one, but they're going to lose Q on that Void Spirit and Boombell's Courier for that matter. And now Savage is here, and he is willing to go for the fight. Fearless does still not have RP. It's 35 seconds away. Cuckoo has Arena, goes for the 3-man Arena, only catches out 2 as Masaros somehow got out of there, but it's not going to matter. He can't help him out. A double kill from Jabs. And it's a 10k net worth lead at 17.5 minutes.
Oh man, MG.Trust, they need to start lining up something here, Mike, as they're going to lose objectives quick. Savage is diving Masaros.
Yes, he is. Masaros. I don't think Motivate really realize how far behind they are right now. It's, you can't stand near the side of Among Us. You need to be away. Bot lane, Jackie. He has the Omni. He's going to try for the spin TP, and he will make it out.
It's a scary spot now. I mean, Jackie's just trying to make some space, trying to keep his farm game up. He hasn't progressed. I think he's got the Yasha up. So he's going to have that, maybe a bit more effective in the Omni, and they smoke up. They've got RP here. They could try to make a play. There's a lot of damage in Savage, though, and they're in the pit.
It's not going to take long either, but they are starting to posture here, MG.Trust. With the smoke up, but Fearless is going to have his smoke broken. He commits the RP, but it's only on Jabs. He gets speared to the wall. Oh, they're panicking now, John.
Yeah, it's a desperation play. I think Fearless realized he was caught up. He could have just skewered out, but I think it's like a fight or flight kind of situation, and he chose to fight. Is punished. So there's that Aegis now onto Savage. They've got so much going on here on Among Us' side. No RP to worry about. They could easily look for more tier 2s. Even the high ground is kind of open here for the taking. And MG.Trust, all they can really do now is just keep building up in Jackie, keep buying some space out, try to find a farm, and hope that you're not going to be picked off.
Not bad. Goes after Boombell, gets the chains off, but the Fate's Edict is going to protect him for now. He does also get the false promise in time, but now the arena's going to be dropped. Q, he jumped into them. He'll get speared up mid-jump. He'll get simulate off in time. They're going to try and turn onto Arbed now, but it's not looking amazing for him. Or maybe it is. Fearless comes in. That is not the skewer you want. They'll jump back onto Jabs now, but it's just not enough. Whitemon going to take down Fearless. The Omni Slash literally doing no damage. Jackie will not be able to get a kill out of this as Whitemon has a double. Now Cuckoo back onto Boombell. There goes Q on the Void Spirit. Jackie does TP out with a spin. Boombell's left behind. Whitemon on a triple kill on the Enchantress. The net worth lead just keeps going up. It's up to 14k now.
Oh, Mike, you know, I hate to say it, but Dota Plus has had a change of heart. It's 97% the way of Among Us. Why?
Wow.
You know, it was so confident at the start as well. 53. Definitely has changed its tune. Still MG.Trust. You can't write them out fully. There needs to be an RP play from Fearless. I think this blink has to come out at some point. Then you can maybe punish Among Us for clumping up. You really need to find farm here somehow. They're trying their best. It's just Among Us is making it near impossible. You see Whitemon even just breaking up the farming of Fearless just by grabbing the creeps, and Fearless gets too scared. He can't come in for that camping.
Oh, Arena out again. They have caught Fearless on the mag with the arrow out, and Savage is coming in for the damage output, although he does get RP'd with Jabs, but they're on the low ground. Q is going to get some damage in. Doesn't actually have enough to kill off Savage. He had the Aegis anyway. Now a double chains out from Arbit. Masaros, he's gone. Jackie will try to run, but the arrow was going to be on point. He's forced to spin. He will make it out. But I don't know what you do if you motivate anymore, John. It just looks like such a hard game to come back from. and they don't have the
It
tools
is.
for it.
No. No, without that blink on Fearless, you're not gonna find the RPs. It's just not gonna come out. They always force to pop it in unideal circumstances. It hasn't quite led to anything. And Abed's just dancing over him.
Q trying to run Abed. The slide of fist. Into the tier 3 tower at 21 minutes in. Chains out on Boom Bill. Have to try and defend somehow. Or maybe they just let it go down, but I think Among Us might just keep going if they don't defend. They're just so healthy. Chains out onto Fearless. There's a slow. Now the Infest into the arena, and we have a huge disconnect again. That's
Oh my
unfortunate. A
goodness.
two-man disconnect out of Q and Oracle. Or rather, Boombill on the Oracle. But they
Yeah.
are in an arena stuck with 23 Savage. They've been locked into a cage with the Beast himself. It's a little bit problematic.
Yeah, the fight's pretty split up as well. Fearless and Jackie were stunned up by that Centaur, so it's a bit disconnected.
They get knocked out of the arena. Omni Slash going to fly through, but again, it's just tickling the side of Among Us. They'll be laughing all the way back to the Radiant base at this rate. 23 Savage is just fine. Nobody's going to die. They'll turn back around now with the chains out from Abed. Masteros, he does have the false promise out in time, but Savage just jumps in. He still has the Aegis. He wants to just keep fighting, but the side of Motivate do not. They'll hang around the tier 4s. Masteros, oh, he might be dead. The spear comes out from Kuku. The arrow connects, however, they do kill off Whitemon. They got one of them, but it's only the position 5. Jackie trying to run with that spin. 23 Savage back onto Q, who cannot astral step away, and he does get taken out. Oh, and now the spear at the fountain from Kuku.
Oh,
He's got
God.
Fearless. Just call it, yeah, they call the GG. Let the misery end.
Wow, it's Among Us. You know, they go back to that playstyle we know. You know, where Abed gets more space out. He's on a hero that's fast. He doesn't have to farm up with Savage. It's a much cleaner game for them. MG.Trust, they gave some good fights in game 1. They took game 2 by surprise. But Among Us step up to the plate for game 3, staying in the upper bracket. Motivate.Trust, they're not out. They are in the lower bracket, but you know, you do lose that safety net now for them. It's going to be a bit more on edge, MG.Trust, as they go on in the playoffs.
Well, with that, John, we move on to the lower bracket. Our first matchup in that bracket is going to be Neon Esports versus 032. We'll see how that one pans out. Of course, Neon looking very, very strong and just barely missing out on getting through to the upper bracket. So we'll see if they can pull themselves together and get through to the lower bracket round of 2, or whether 032 can do it. We'll find out soon in about 10 minutes. We'll see you then.